Hey, what's up guys, it's Oakley, and I did want to cover some news. So, coming up after the new year is going to be the Old World Edition coming in February. So we did know about this before, and it's going to come with an exclusive novella, The Prince of Altdorf, and then also for people who already purchased Total War Warhammer, it's going to come with a free update that's going to include Bretonnia being fully fleshed out, which is freaking fantastic. So that's something to look forward to. And then also I did want to talk about how with the 12 days of Festag that CA is kind of touting, we are getting some more images. Some notes about what this Bretonnia DLC is going to include. There was a little quote here that I found. A contrast of lowly peasant masses and proud knightly orders. The feudal kingdom of Bretonnia features a host of powerful units. And then you get 3 legendary lords, King Louan le Honqueur, Alberic of Bordelot, and Faye Enchantress. So there's that, and then there's a whole bunch of specific Bretonnia mechanics that haven't been announced just yet. In this image, though, you can see the Green Knight on the left. I assume he's going to make an appearance, as well as the Lady of the Lake, probably doing quests or something to gain her favor would be really cool. If you look up in the lore, there's certain things like crusades and whatnot, because obviously Bretonnia is based off of medieval France. So you're going to see a lot of those things. Not yet officially announced, but there's a lot to potentially speculate on. I did want to turn now to the 12 days of Festag that CA was showing off. So the first couple ones talked about time commanders and various other things, the wood elves and whatnot. But then they started to release a couple images of Bretonnia, obviously trying to hype us up. So this one is one of the loading screens. Nothing super new, but of course just showing off the different colors and pageantry of Bretonnia. And of course, it wouldn't be Bretonnia without, glorious knights and castles, and then a peasant just doing his due diligence in the background, shoveling shit pretty much. Here the knights are taking a selfie, and he's in the background like, I'm too old for this, I'm too poor for this, complaining to hell. So this is Bretonnia in a nutshell. And then they did release a couple images. These are for, for various events. This one's going to be for the Lady of the Lake. And yeah, it's going to be pretty cool because if this is an event, then it probably means you have certain quests. Now, if they go the lame-er route, it'll be something where you just do, respond, oh, I want to go on this quest, and it'll just be a text option. But I really hope it's a bit more involved than that. I did want to talk briefly about what is a Grail Knight. So I pulled this off of the Warhammer kind of wiki. So Grail Knights are kind of the ultimate human warrior, they say here. So they're a knight who is the total embodiment of chivalry and justice and the holy guardians of the mystical goddess, the Lady of the Lake. So basically, to become a Grail Knight officially, that's kind of your final promotion. And to do this, you have to go around the realm and take on Grail quests. And you're an errant knight at that point. Or it's a knight's errant, and you're a questing knight trying to do things to gain glory. And every time you try and seek out justice or defeat enemies and all this, trying to get the Lady of the Lake's attention. And then finally, when you do that, then you will be rewarded by not only the sight of the Grail, but also the Lady of the Lake would allow you to drink from said Grail, and then you get her blessing as a result, and then you get all sorts of buffs, which is obviously something we've already seen in Total War Warhammer when you use abilities like Blessing of the Lady and all that, buffs towards health, damage resistance, all kinds of stuff. So once you get the Blessing of the Lady, you do actually get like super tanky, and she will protect you with a lot of wards and things of that nature. There's also another image uploaded here that shows kind of the post-battle carnage with a lot of knights seeking to become Grail Knights who have died in the process on the field of battle. God, that looks freaking glorious, looking so good. I'm just a huge fan of anything medieval, and especially just the valor and the pageantry of the knights. And I'll also look in the background. On the back left, you can see what looks to be a regular horse with a giant wing coming out of it. So I believe that was a Pegasus knight having fallen on the battlefield. So obviously that adds the fantasy to it. Here's another image that they did upload, and this one's just about campaign troubles that you're running into. So perhaps we'll have a council of lords or something for the government for Bretonnia, but it is very much a feudal system. So I hope they do kind of promote that sort of management system in the way the campaign itself functions. Different positions, and maybe even in the way you recruit armies would be cool. But yeah, this looks pretty dope. And then over here, just a image of a battle with obviously the post destruction of a siege. A beautiful Bretonnia castle just there, melting away, huge blown out hole in the sides. We've seen that with every new issuance of DLC and free LC, they do come out with new maps. So I am hoping that we get some pretty unique Bretonnia maps that kind of shake things up, that break from the current pattern of sieges, because I'd really love to see something like that image. The next image that they released, I think it was on Festag Day 8, was this one seen on the left. And what this is a Grail relic, or relic. I don't know why it's spelled like special. But anyways, so what the hell is this? Well, basically, we talked about Grail Knights before. When a Grail Knight dies, that is a dead Grail Knight there, and they're still imbued with the power of the lady. It's still kind of encasing them, and so they become very powerful even after death, and their body and their armor and everything they've kind of touched becomes a holy relic. And so what happens with this unit on the tabletop is basically peasants and other holy pilgrims will kind of take his body, and they will rally around it and they'll defend it, and it will actually give them power. And what they try and do is they recreate the knight going to battle, and so they have this knight that they hold up. And here in this model, the pilgrims and the holy pilgrims around him try and be the horse. So that's why one of them holds up the dead horse's head. The other two are holding up the knight himself. So they kind of become this dead Grail Knight's horse. And then the other defenders around him try and kind of defend this holy relic. So they'll go into battle like that. Super cool piece of lore. I can't wait to see this. And yeah, it'll be buffed peasants. I imagine it'll also buff other units in the vicinity, so you're going to use this in the middle of your line to help buff your otherwise kind of shaky troops. This is what you'll be seeing in this image. Awesome of CA to release this. So in the very, very foreground on the left, you can see just a paladin, and then just behind him, you can see a bunch of these peasants, and I believe these are going to be peasants accompanying the Grail relic, because if you look on the left, that kind of slumped over character with the Grail around his neck, that seems to be the model in question with the Grail relic. If you trace a little bit in front of him, you can see a horse's skull, and so yep, that looks like it's indeed going to be the Grail relic. So around him you can see a bunch of units kind of peasants holding him up, and then other ones fighting around him, so that's going to be buffing your main line. Really cool to see. Looking around for other units, I don't really see too much. There's some landed Pegasus Knights, there's Louan le Honcoeur, there's Trebuchets around back, but besides that, nothing too new to glean out of this. The dwarves on the right looking standard as usual. But yeah, I'm super excited for Bretonnia. I love these guys, love the medieval vibe, and they play really fun, and so I can't wait to see what other units we'll be seeing. Obviously, I'm big into multiplayer, so I'm excited for that, but for the campaign as well, I'm sure a lot of people would be excited by some of the new stuff they'll bring to the table. That's about it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. See ya.